Assalamualaikum students. Today we are going to start a new lecture which is about theorems. Students, this is a very new topic for you. So firstly you should understand what is it. Theorem is basically a statement in which something is given and something we have to prove. From this we have to do some construction if required, and then we give proof. Students, before starting the lecture, first I would like to discuss your favorite TV program CID. When you see some murder, their team used to have the statement what happened and where it happened, which is the given. When they do some further steps like to search someone or to go somewhere, these are the construction, and then they will with all these they will give some proof, and so the murder will be proved. Same is the case with the theorems. Now let's start the statement of the theorem, how you will judge the statement. Whenever you are having the statement of the theorem, you will see such type of words in it: if, or, then. Suppose this is the statement, and within the statement you will see these type of words. Remember, before these words whatever is there, it will be given, and after these words whatever is there, this you have to prove. In this way you can judge the statement of the theorem. Okay, before starting the proper lecture of the first theorem, I would like to discuss the two definitions: right bisectors and angle bisector. Class, before starting the theorems of the next chapter, we must discuss the two definitions. Number one is the angle bisector. First of all, for the angle bisector, we should know the angle is made by joining the endpoints of two rays. Suppose this is a ray and there is another ray. If I join these two rays by their endpoints, suppose I am joining these two rays, this ray and this ray, by their endpoints, then angle is formed. Means angle is formed by joining the endpoints of the two rays. So if there is another ray which divides this angle into two equal parts, suppose the name of this angle is AOB, this is AOB. So if I am taking a ray which divides this angle into two equal parts, then this ray will be called as the angle bisector. So what will be the definition of this angle bisector? Angle bisector is a ray which divides the angle into two equal parts. Next definition is the right bisector. Before starting this definition, we must recall what is line segment. First of all, we will discuss the line. The line is having no endpoints. It means this line is extending from both sides. It is not having any endpoints. And what is the line segment? Line segment is the part of the line. Means suppose if I am taking line segment from this point to this point, so this is the part of the line and it is having two endpoints. This is a line segment which is having two endpoints, and this is a line which is extending from both sides. Now we will discuss what is a right bisector. Right bisector of a line segment is a line. Suppose this is a line segment. Let's say this is A, B. So right bisector of this line segment will be a line. Suppose this is a line. Let's say the name of the line is NM. Now this line NM will said to be right bisector of this line segment AB if two conditions are there. Number one condition, it should pass from the midpoint of line segment AB. It should pass from the midpoint, means this line NM should intersect this line segment AB at the center point, right? Number two condition, it should make the angle of 90 degree at this point. Now if it is making the angle of 90 degree also, then we can say that this line is a right bisector of line segment AB. Suppose I am taking another line segment and there is a line, it is passing through the center. Suppose C is the center and this is the line segment AB. This line is passing through the center, means this line is intersecting line segment AB at point C, which is the center point, but it is not making angle of 90 degree. So this is not a right bisector. For right bisector, two conditions are there. It should pass from the center and it should make the angle of 90 degree. Then this line will set to be the right bisector of the line segment AB. Students, this is the first theorem of your chapter number 12. We have already discussed about what is theorem and how you will read and judge the statement of the theorem. From the theorem, I have told you whenever you are having the word is, if and then, after such type of words, whatever is there, it is to prove, and before this type of words, whatever is there, it is given. Okay, now in this statement, the word is there right bisector. We have discussed this. And then is equidistant. Equidistant mean which is at the same distance. So now we will start reading the theorem, statement of the theorem. What is given? A point is on the right bisector of a line segment. This is given. Means what is there? A point is there which is on the right bisector of the line segment. With the help of the statement of the theorem, we have to draw the diagram. So firstly we will draw a line segment. Suppose there is a line segment and the name is A, B, and there is a point which is on the right bisector of this line segment. Means there is a right bisector. Let's say the name is LM and there is a point P on it. Now according to the given, we are having this diagram. A point is given on the right bisector of the line segment. We have to prove that this point is equidistant from its endpoint. From its endpoint means the endpoints of the line segment. We have to prove that this point P is at the same distance from A and from B as well. Now whatever we are having in the given, in the to prove, or whatever we will do the construction, we have to write it in the written form. Okay, now we will write the given. Okay, now this is the given. A line LM intersects AB, which is the line segment. A line LM intersects the line segment AB at point C, where C is the midpoint and AC is congruent to BC. Because of this C as a midpoint, so we can write AC is congruent to BC. Also this LM line is perpendicular to AB and P is a point on it. Means on line LM. We have to prove that distance of P from A and from B is same. So PA is congruent to PB, we have to prove. Now we have to do some construction. We will join point P to point A and point P to point B. Okay class, remember this point. Whenever we do some construction in the diagram, we have to use the dotted line. Now in the construction we will write join point P to A and B. Why we have done this construction? We have done this construction just for having the closed diagram, closed geometrical figures. We can see that from this joining from P to A and P to B, we are having two triangles. Now if we prove the congruency of these two triangles, then we can say PA is congruent to PB automatically. Just we will prove the congruency of these two triangles. Why we can say? Because When two triangles are congruent, it's mean their all corresponding sides and corresponding angles are also congruent. We have done this congruency topic in 7th class. We are well familiar about the congruency of the triangles and their corresponding sides and the angles. Now we will prove the statement with the help of some statements and with their reason. Means when whatever we will give in the statement, we have to give the reasons why we are saying this. Okay, now start. We are going to prove the congruency of these two triangles. Means these two triangles are under discussion. We are going to compare these two triangles. So we will write in triangle PAC corresponding to triangle PBC. This is a symbol of corresponding, means they are not congruent. We are going to prove the congruency of these two triangles. When we will get the congruency, then we will put the symbol of congruency. Okay, now you know that we are having 6 elements in the triangle, 3 angles and the 3 sides. So if we prove any 3 elements from these 6 elements, if we prove any 3 elements, we get some postulates. Postulates are the rules to prove the congruency of the triangles. So if we get 3 elements as congruent, we can say that these two triangles are congruent. Now we will check what are these 3 elements. Number 1, you can see that this is PC. PC side is present in both the triangles. This is including in this triangle as well as in this triangle. We can write PC is congruent to PC. And what is the reason? Because it is common. Okay, next we can see that AC is congruent to BC. And this is given because C was the midpoint. So because of this midpoint, we can say that these two sides are equal. So AC is congruent to BC. And what is the reason? The reason is given. Next we can see this at point C. You can see that each angle at point C is of 90 degree. Means in this triangle, if we check this triangle, only this triangle, you can see that angle at this point C is of 90 degree. And if we see this triangle, we can see that angle at this point C is also of 90 degrees. Why? Because this LM was perpendicular to AB. It was the right bisector. So right bisector means it is making an angle of 90 degrees. So now we can write angle PCA, as C is including in both the triangles. So we cannot directly write angle C. We will mention PCA. Angle PCA of this triangle is congruent to angle PCB of this triangle. Angle PCB. And what is the reason? Reason is this. It was given that LM, line LM is perpendicular to AB. So each angle at point C is equals to 90 degree. So now we are having the 3 elements. We can write, therefore the triangle PAC is congruent to triangle PBC. And according to which postulate, you can see the angle is including in these two sides. We have proved this side as congruent and this side as congruent and this angle at point C. So this angle is including in these two sides. So postulate will be angle side angle. Angle side angle. Side angle side. This is side, then angle, then side. So this will be side angle side. Side angle side postulate. Now what was our requirement? Our requirement was PA is congruent to PB. We can write hence PA is congruent to PB. Why we can say that? Because now these two triangles are congruent. So all the corresponding angles and the sides are also congruent. We can write the reason. These two are corresponding sides of congruent triangles. Corresponding sides of congruent triangles.